All right, so we are live. Welcome, everybody. We are going to, let me share screen, and we're going to go through this tutorial. Entire screen. Let's share this window. All right, everyone. So if you are just joining us, this is going to be a live session of a tutorial or a walkthrough of um, building a dash hook. Okay, this comes from the Plotly challenge that we posted about 5 days ago, where we challenged the community to build. Let me make this bigger. To build Dash hooks and plugins for the Dash ecosystem, and you can read a little bit more about what Dash plugins and hooks are. But really, they extend the functionality of Dash apps that can be used across multiple apps. So you can do things like a dash hook for an app layout or callback or routes or error handling. And so I'm going to do a walkthrough or a tutorial, the tutorial that actually exists on our documentation page of a dash hook that creates an error that displays the error of the app on the app page inside the layout. So we're going to do this tutorial together today, and we might be able to do the next tutorial maybe next week at some point on uploading this or publishing this error hook to PyPy, right? Or so then it can be shared with everybody. And that's the real advantage of Dash hooks, is that, and you can see it here as well, that you can share your custom made plugin with the rest of the Plotly and Dash world, just by publishing it on PyPy. You see a few examples here from the post that my colleague Nathan has created. Another example of a dash hook for, I think, logins that Robert created, community member. And today we're going to do this example right here in the docs tutorial. So let me share the link with you so you have it. So this is the post. I'm going to put it in the comments section. I think this goes to LinkedIn and YouTube. But if it's not going to LinkedIn, what I just posted, the comment, I will also post it to LinkedIn after the live session under the video description. And then we'll have the tutorial, which is probably it's the Dash documentation, and just go to Dash plugins using hooks. All right. Okay. So this is what we're going to build today. Here's my regular Dash app, just a very, very basic app with a drop down to change the colors of this bar chart. If I choose light green, it changes green. If I choose gold, it changes gold. But if I choose medium turquoise, then I get this error. This error will show us an invalid value for color property, and this is the name of the color property. And it'll say it's invalid. As you can see here, it has double E there. I added an E at the end. It's not supposed to be there. And it explains the color property has to be a color specified as a hex string, as HSLA string, or a CSS color with all these possibilities, but medium turquoise Z is not an option. So that's where we get this error. All right, so let's build this app together. Go to this page right here, Dash hooks. Where is it? The Dash documentation. It's actually under the creating your own components. Right? You'll see this on the sidebar, creating your own components, and go to writing Dash plugins using hooks. Okay. Now I'm going to use PyCharm, but obviously you can use VS Code, Spider, Cursor, whatever you want. So here we have our PyCharm, and I created a folder called Dash Hooks Demo number 3 because I created already 2 on my own. Now the 2 that I created were using the older version of the tutorial with the setup.py file. So this will actually be the first time that I'm creating the tutorial that is actually in here with a few small changes. definitely feel free. I can see your comments and questions that you post, whether you're on LinkedIn or YouTube or X, or just post them, ask them, and I will try to answer them as I see them come in. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so let's read this. Here it says, first of all, we want to create the project structure. Create a folder for the project, and within that folder, create a file called pyproject.to ml. All right, so I'm going to create a folder. First, a folder for the project, and my folder that I created for the project is this one right here. This one right here. It's called dash hook demo 3. This is, you can call it whatever you want. This is the name of our folder. Now it also said here, after we create the folder, that we need to create a file called project.toml. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to say new. Maybe I can even do it in Python directly. Let's go to Python directly. I'm inside. Make sure you're inside the dash demo 3 or your project folder. And then we'll open this and we'll say, come on, right click, and we'll say new file. And I'm just going to copy it, pyproject.toml. All right, so we have that. Now let's go back to our documentation. And now it says, within the same folder, create a subfolder called callback error plugin. Callback error plugin. So let's do that. I'm going to copy that. Let's make sure, 1 second. Okay. Oops. Okay, let's go back. I'm going to Python again. Another folder, so right click, new directory, callback error plugin. All right. And now, in the callback error plugin subfolder, create a file called init.py. So I'm going to copy that. And I'll say in this one, right click, new file, init.py. Okay, making progress, slowly but surely. We're making progress here. So this is what it's going to look like, and you can see that this is how it looks like in our directory. Right? Project, callback, init, and the project outside. Okay. And then you can read a little bit more about it here, what the project.toml is for. I use for the latest tutorial setup.py file instead of PyProject. So I can share it with you later if you like. But we'll follow this tutorial exactly how it says we should do it. All right, number 1. So we're going to open the init.py file, and we're going to copy this code and paste it in there. Now this code is going to generate the function that generates error notification. So I'm going to go up here. There was a quicker way to copy this. I missed that. Copy all of this. Let's go to our init file. There we go. We're going to copy. 1 second. Okay, so everything you need, and just want to check my comments, okay? Everything we need is in here, at least in this function. We'll have our button to dismiss the error. The callback error will display here, and then just a little bit of padding. That's really it. Okay, now we have to create a few more things, a few more lines of code we have to add. So let's see. We have to create a function called add error notification. This function right here. I'm going to copy it. This function will be called by the app. It uses the plugin. But you as a developer can change this to any text that you want. All right. So we're going to go here, and right underneath, we'll create this function. Okay. So we have function, And then it says that inside the function, we're going to add a few more things, 3, 4, and 5. Here we have the full code, 3, 4, and 5. So first we have to add the hooks that layout. This will add our error message to the layout itself. Let's go back to the code. Okay. Make this a lot smaller, make this bigger so it's easier for you to see. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Okay, oh, that's way too big. Okay, so we added our first function, this decorator. And now we need to add our second decorator function, the add error notification. This dismisses the notification. Let's hope this works. Copy. 1 second. This button right here, dismiss. Okay. So let's go back to the code. And right underneath, I'm going to create another hook to this with the dismiss button. And I think we only need one more thing. Hope I copied it correctly. The last thing we need is this one. The add error notification unhides the banner and also updates its text to show the actual error occurred. Highlight this, copy, and then we'll copy error here. All right, so this should be it. We have our initial generate error notification function that will get called right here as soon as an error happens. And then we'll have our dismiss button to display or not display the error. And then we have our set underscore props right here. Okay, so why is this telling me there's a if I want to make sure I did this. Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, perfect. So let me save it. Now let's see what our documentation says. Now, it also gives us a view of the full code, right? So we can compare what we have here. Or instead of going step by step, we can just copy everything from here into your project, into the init.py file. Okay, so we have our full code. And now we're going to configure the pyproject.toml file. So I'm just going to copy everything here. And this pretty much is what allows you, the developer, to publish it to PyPI or PyPy. Some people say I should call it PyPI, so maybe I should start calling it PyPI. All right, let's go to the project.toml. See, we'll give it the name. This name should probably be unique, so I'm going to change this name because when you publish this on PyPI, it's going to be installable by others, right? People can then go and say, "Oh, Anne-Marie or Adam or Esther created a dash hook, and I want to install it from PyPI." And so they'll do just pip install whatever that is. So you can't have the same name for two different projects. So callback error plugin I think already exists, and you should go to PyPI and see if it exists or not. You can go right here, PyPI, and then search for the project. I don't think it exists here. Let's search for it again. But it might exist on test PyPI because I created one. So here we see that it doesn't exist, so you can create it. But on test PyPI, which is where maybe next week we'll publish this, I think this exists. So we're going to change the name slightly, and we'll say callback error plugin, and we'll say demo 3. We just know it's demo purposes. It's the first version, obviously. Dependencies will need dash 3.0.3 or higher, because this is, I think, when dash hooks was actually introduced as a feature to dash. And let's change this name as well. No, the packages is dash call error plugin. Okay, right here. And then setup, I think always the same. Now we might have to add a few more, a little bit more information in here. I definitely added a lot more information in the setup.py file before I published it to PyPI. But we'll tackle that in the next tutorial because this is not as it's not as relevant to this tutorial. Okay, so we have our project, our main root, right? So the project, our main root folder, and then we have the other folder with the init.py file where we took everything from the tutorial. So now we have one last step. Let's go back to our documentation. The last step is to build the plugin. And actually, we have to also build the app. Well, let's build a plugin first. That's fine. So to build a plugin, you have to pip install build, which I think, well, okay, before that. Let's create a virtual environment for our project. Right? It's often good practice to create a virtual environment for every new app or project that you start. And if you build multiple hooks, maybe you'll just need the same virtual environment, but this is our first hook. So let's build our virtual environment. I'm going to go, well, I think my computer is using Python 11, so I'm going to go to the terminal. Esther, no, I do not think that it requires React knowledge, or very little. It will only help, but you don't really need React knowledge to do this. Okay, so I'm in the terminal, and now we're actually going to open a terminal. Where's the terminal? Terminal, and we're going to say this. Py 311, we're going to create a virtual environment called hooks env. And you'll see here that it'll soon be created. Hooks env. You see, we just created it right here. All right, so we're going to activate it. I'm going to go, what is it called? Hooks env scripts activate. Now that it's activated, we're going to do what the tutorial says we need to do. We're going to pip install build. Success. And after we pip install build, we're going to Python. We're going to build a plugin. And you'll see the things start. Look at this slide right here. You'll see the things start getting built once we copy this. Installing packages, an isolated environment. Building. Okay. All right. You see. So this was created. The callback error plugin demo 3 with all the info. And then the distribution files, and that's it. So these two folders were created right now. So now, let's go back to the tutorial. Now it says Python wheel and source distribution are generated in a dist directory that we saw right here. See dist, and this is the wheel.whl. Okay, so what do we need to do with this wheel right now? Create and activate a new virtual environment, which we just did. We're going to install dash. So we'll just do install dash. We don't have to do this. Let's go back to our virtual environment that we created. You see that my virtual environment is activated because it says hooks.env. We're going to see pip install dash. And we do this because we're going to test this out, right? This is just locally. We have to test it in a dash app to see that our error plugin actually works. So I'll install it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so dash is installing. And after dash is installing, we'll have to go to, let me close the window here. Here's some noise. Okay, so after we install dash, we have to install the wheel, right? So it's creating the plugin section with pip install and the wheel. So I'm going to open this right here. I'm going to say pip install space, and I'm going to install this wheel right here. So let me go to my. Actually, I could probably just do it directly. Well, I'll show you how to do it. The wheel right here. didn't rename. I'm just going to grab it. I'm going to do all this. Pip install. Okay, now let's copy it. Okay, so let's go back. So now we need to install the wheel. So first of all, make sure that we are inside the dist folder, cd dist. And you can either do pip like I did, like copy, paste, like that. Or in PyCharm, in PyCharm will automatically autofill, so I can do pip install. What's the name of the field? Callback error. It's not the tar file. Right? You probably could do it with a tar file as well. We're going to use the wheel. So 1 / what is it? Py wheel. Enter. Great. So now we've installed everything that needs to be installed. Let's go back to the tutorial and close this. Install the wheel, create an app with the following code. This is just for testing purposes to make sure that it works. Because users that are going to do pip install your component, your plugin, are going to have their own app. So we're just going to test it with our app right now. And we'll call it app.py. Following code to use within the plugin, note the plugin imports. Great. So let's see if we can replicate this GIF. So we're going to go back to our PyCharm. Let's exit the dist folder, and inside our root, we can just create a new app.py, and we'll copy paste the app. Right? And notice here that we're saying, let's make this a little bit bigger so you can see. We're saying from callback error plugin from here, import add error notifications. So in this file, we're actually importing add error notifications, this full function that has everything that this plugin needs for error notification. Even this main function is inside this function right here. See, here it is. Okay, so we're importing the notification. We're going to say here is the error message to actually activate it. Was an error message, and then we're going to build our dash app. Right, we instantiate dash. We have our input field, and we have an empty HTML div, and we're going to say put an input number. Actually, I've never tested this out, so let's see. This is a different example than the last tutorial that I did with the app that I showed you. So let's try 1 second. Let me try to run this. Okay, close the other app. Okay. Python app.py. See if it works. Let's click this. Okay, so callback errors will display here. I wonder what the error. We can exit this. If we wanted, that's the button that we created. Let's see what the error was. I don't even know if we actually introduced the error. We're going to go right here. Okay, this example will throw a division by 0 error when 0 is entered in the input. Okay, so this is the error when 0 is entered, because 10 cannot be divided by, well, any number cannot be divided by 0. Math 101. So we're going to go here. We'll say 0. Here's the error message. Division by 0. We got the error message. And if I actually put none, I don't have any number in here. It says here's the error message, and here's the error message. Remember, is what we wrote down here. Where was it? Here is the error message, right, from our init file. So let's go back to the file. Here's the error message: unsupported operand types for division, int and non-type. All right. So if you put a none, if you put a -1, it would work. If you put a +1, it would work, and any other number, but none or 0 will give us an error, and we can exit the error with this beautiful button that we built. All right. So this is pretty much it. This is what I wanted to show you in these 30 minutes, how to create our first plugin. Now, what we're going to do in the hopefully next tutorial next week is use the callback error and dash hook that we created together with the Pi project TOML to publish this to the test PyPI platform. I have a demo here, a guide to publish plugins to test PyPI, but this is using the older version, setup.py, which I did a few weeks ago. We're going to replace this, and we're going to try to use the TOML file, right? But everything is explained here, how to open an account and how to do everything. So I hope to do that next week. Let me see if there's any questions. Anything wasn't clear? Nope, no questions from our viewers. We have a nice amount of viewers today, 70 viewers. That's kind of cool to see so many people watching this. Again, if you have any questions about the plugin or the next tutorial, just send me, just write it in the comment section of the video, whether you're on YouTube or on X or on LinkedIn, and I'll try to respond. And I'll try to also share. Maybe I'll put this. What I'll do is I'll put this on GitHub, and I'll share this with the community, with all of you watching, so you can have access to this. But make sure that if you're going to try to deploy this yourself or publish this to test PyPI first and only then to PyPI, make sure you change the name. The name has to be unique. Okay, and you might have to add a few other lines here, a little bit more information, but you'll have to read the guide you'll see in the tutorial, the Python packaging user guide, to understand how to publish. Okay, great. Thank you everyone for. I see, Anne-Marie. Do you have any ideas for? Do you have ideas for plugins? That's a great question, Anne-Marie. Thank you for that. So I was mainly just thinking of the Era plugins and a few other layouts plugins, but here the documentation and our technical writers, Jessica and Liam, are awesome. Like they have, it's so thorough, the amount of information they put in the docs, which always I love seeing. It just amazes me. It's such a helpful document for our community. So here we have some examples of other available hooks, right? Adding to an app's layout with the hook layout, or adding callbacks with a hook's callback. Adding Flask routes with hooks.route. We did the error handling function with hooks error. We can update app properties with the hook setup. Maybe the properties of a certain component, right? Of a drop-down, of a graph, whatever component. Update HTML. So there's a bunch of different examples here. And hopefully these give you some good ideas that you can use for creating these hooks and publishing them and then sharing with the challenge, right? This is a more sophisticated topic, right? This is not a regular Dash app. This is a bit more, there's more coding involved. I mean, the way we created Dash hooks is pretty much as simple as it gets, but it's a little bit more difficult than just creating a regular app. So it's a great opportunity to improve your Dash skills or developer skills. Try to replicate one of these plugins in the documentation, and just share it here. Publish it on PyPI, and just share it here with a new reply, with a new comment, a new post. Sorry. I'd love to see your plugins. I'd love to see the hooks you create. I will just pip install and try it on my app. As a reminder, this challenge ends at the end of June, on June 30th. And we have these prizes for first, second, and third place using this criteria right here. All right, folks. Thank you for joining. Bijan, thank you for joining and watching the tutorial. Appreciate your time. Again, if you have any questions in the comment section, and I hope to see you in our next tutorial in a week or two. All right, everybody. Bye bye.